Royal jewels are more than dazzling treasures. They are silent witnesses to history's most dramatic moments. Beneath their sparkle, these objects have seen desperate acts. Diamonds sewn into corsets as the Romanovs tried to shield themselves from the violence of revolution, or tiaras that became symbols of rivalry and unrest. Some jewels survived wars and upheaval, others vanished, leaving only questions behind. Each piece carries stories that history books often overlook. What secrets linger behind their glow? In this video, we trace the fate of 5 royal treasures: a diamond shield, a scandalous Spanish diadem, icy rivalries, Napoleonic sapphires, and an unfinished Fabergé egg. Some were meant to unite, but instead they divided. The lost diamonds of the Romanovs. The story of the lost diamonds of the Romanovs begins in the final months of the Russian Empire, as revolution closed in and escape became impossible. The imperial family, stripped of power and prospects, turned to their jewels as a last desperate resource. Empress Alexandra and her daughters, aware of the dangers they faced, meticulously sewed diamonds, rubies, and other precious stones, amounting to as much as 1.3 kilograms, into their corsets and undergarments. These gems, once displayed at state occasions, were now hidden in plain sight, their sparkle transformed from a mark of privilege into a fragile hope for survival. This act of concealment took on a grim dimension during the family's execution on July 17, 1918. Led to the basement of the Ipatiev house, the Romanovs faced a firing squad. When the executioners opened fire, bullets ricocheted off the daughters' bodices, deflected by the sheer density of gemstones sewn into the fabric. The jewels provided only momentary protection. The executioners quickly resorted to bayonets. In the aftermath, blood-stained diamonds and other stones were found hidden in their clothing, and in a pillow clutched by a lady-in-waiting, stuffed with precious gems. What was meant as a safeguard became a tragic footnote, underscoring the futility of their efforts. After the Romanovs' deaths, the Bolsheviks set about recovering and cataloguing the imperial treasures. Official commissions, led by figures such as Academician Fersman, inventoried the jewels in chillingly methodical fashion, opening heavy iron chests sealed with wax and stored in cold, dark rooms. The 1933 Tobolsk inventory detailed the scale of the recovered hoard: a diamond brooch set with a 100-carat stone, diamond crescents weighing up to 70 carats, and hairpins encrusted with 36-carat diamonds. These were not just family heirlooms, but assets the new regime would use to fund the Soviet state and erase the memory of the old order. Yet not all Romanov jewels fell into Bolshevik hands. Amid the chaos, Grand Duchess Maria Pavlovna's collection was entrusted to British diplomat Albert Henry Stopford, who smuggled 244 pieces out of Russia, dismantling and wrapping them in newspapers for transport to London. Some of these jewels, including a sapphire and diamond brooch, later surfaced at auction. Persistent rumors also spoke of crates marked with the Russian imperial seal, allegedly stored at Balmoral Castle in England, though their contents remain a mystery. The fate of the Romanov diamonds was not limited to official confiscation or loyalist rescue. Bolshevik agents themselves sometimes smuggled gems abroad, hiding them in shoe heels or mailing them in boxes of chocolates to finance the revolution. Many jewels were sold at a fraction of their value, scattered across Europe and America, while others vanished entirely. These hidden diamonds did not just finance exile or revolution, they now finance legends of lost empires. Their journey from imperial regalia to blood-stained relics and scattered heirlooms is a reminder that even the brightest treasures cannot shield against the collapse of a dynasty. The objects themselves endure, silent witnesses to the rise and fall of power. While the Romanovs' final acts were of desperation, across Europe, another royal family grappled with heartbreak not on the battlefield, but in the quiet exile of love and loss. The Malario shell tiara's tragic legacy. The Malario shell tiara stands apart as a triumph of 19th-century Parisian craftsmanship, its design evoking the sea with delicate scallop shells, diamond-encrusted waves, and dangling pearls that shimmer with movement. Commissioned in 1867 by Queen Isabella II of Spain and crafted by Malario d'Ismella, the tiara was more than a display of opulence. It was a personal gift for her daughter, Infanta Isabella, known as La Chata. Its beauty was unmistakable, but the events that followed would give it a reputation for sorrow within the Spanish royal family. Shortly after receiving the tiara as a wedding gift, Infanta Isabella's life was upended by tragedy. Her husband, Prince Gaetan of Bourbon II Sicilies, died by suicide just 3 years into their marriage. The loss cast a long shadow over both Isabella and the tiara, and whispers began to circulate about the misfortunes that seemed to follow its wearers. Although many speak of a curse, that legend actually belongs to another Spanish diadem, the Hesse strawberry leaf tiara. The shell tiara's true drama lies in the pattern of exile and untimely deaths that marked its early history. The tiara's association with hardship continued as Spain itself was plunged into political turmoil. In 1868, just a year after the tiara's creation, Queen Isabella II was deposed in the Glorious Revolution, forcing her into exile. Decades later, in 1931, Infanta Isabella faced her own flight from Spain when her nephew, King Alfonso XIII, lost the throne. In a moment that illustrates both the tiara's value and the uncertainty of the era, Isabella reportedly concealed the shell tiara by stitching it inside a hat as she escaped the country. She died in exile just days after her departure, never to return to her homeland, a fate that reinforced the tiara's reputation for ill luck. The shell tiara's next prominent owner, Queen Victoria Eugenie Ina, inherited not just the jewel, but the weight of its history. Married to Alfonso XIII, Ina wore the tiara only occasionally. Her reign was marked by personal and dynastic suffering. Her wedding day was marred by an assassination attempt, and she unwittingly passed the haemophilia gene to her sons, leading to frequent health crises and untimely deaths in the royal family. The tiara's limited public appearances during Ina's time fueled speculation that its reputation for misfortune was not taken lightly. Despite the stories that surround it, the Malario shell tiara remains a testament to artistry. Its shell and wave motifs, rendered in diamonds and pearls, create a structure that is both distinctive and elegant. The contrast between its luminous beauty and the sorrow linked to its history continues to fascinate those who study royal jewels. In modern times, it has reappeared on the heads of Queen Sophia and Queen Letizia, perhaps signaling a new chapter, one less burdened by the past. Yet not all royal jewels bore sorrow alone. Some became tools in a dynastic chessboard, passed from queen to queen as political statements in times of fracture. The Cartier loop tiara and A Tale of Two Queens. One of the most quietly influential jewels in Spanish royal history is Queen Maria Cristina's loop tiara, crafted by Francisco Marzo in 1886. Created as a wedding gift for Queen Maria Cristina of Austria, this tiara is defined by its 9 diamond loops, each crowned with a luminous pearl and delicate scrollwork that captures the neoclassical taste of the era. Its elegance is matched by the complexity of its journey, as it became a silent marker of shifting alliances and dynastic ambitions within the Spanish monarchy. After Queen Maria Cristina's death in 1929, the tiara passed to her son, King Alfonso XIII. In 1935, while living in exile, Alfonso made a significant decision. He gave the tiara to his daughter-in-law, Princess Maria de las Mercedes, on the occasion of her marriage to his son, Infante Juan, Count of Barcelona. This was not simply a matter of family inheritance. By bypassing his estranged wife, Queen Victoria Eugenie Ina, Alfonso sent a clear signal about the future of the royal line. The tiara, once a symbol of maternal authority, now became a portable badge of legitimacy for the next generation. a statement of hope for the monarchy's restoration during a time of uncertainty. Maria de las Mercedes wore the loop tiara at several key occasions, including a gala in London during the wedding celebrations of Princess Elizabeth, 1947. Photographs from the period show her poised and dignified, the tiara's arches framing her face as she represented the Spanish royal family abroad. Its presence on her head was more than ornamental. It was a quiet assertion of her family's claim and continuity, even in exile. But this jewel's journey wasn't over with her. Later, it would re-emerge on a completely different queen at a crucial moment. When Spain's monarchy was restored in the 1970s, the loop tiara returned to the spotlight. Queen Sofia, wife of King Juan Carlos I and daughter-in-law of Maria de las Mercedes, inherited the tiara and wore it at state events. Queen Sofia's choice to wear the tiara marked a shift. No longer a symbol of division, it became part of the visual language of unity and renewal. The pearls and diamonds that once signified dynastic rivalry now underscored the monarchy's return to public life and its efforts to present a stable front. Today, Queen Letizia continues the tradition, pairing the tiara's Victorian-era design with modern style at diplomatic banquets and ceremonies. Each appearance adds a new chapter to its history, transforming the tiara into a symbol of adaptability and survival. Its meaning has changed with each wearer, reflecting the evolving fortunes of the Spanish royal family. But beyond sorrow and scandal, some jewels have endured. Not just physically, but in purpose, safeguarded through centuries of upheaval. Napoleonic-era sapphires in Scandinavia. Elegance and resistance. Napoleon Bonaparte's commission of the Leuchtenberg sapphire parure in 1806 was more than an act of generosity. Created by his official jeweler, Marie-Étienne Niteau, this parure was a calculated diplomatic gesture, intended to cement alliances and project power through a tangible symbol. Given as a wedding gift to Princess Augusta of Bavaria when she married Eugène de Beauharnais, Napoleon's stepson, the suite included a tiara, necklace, earrings, brooch, and hairpins. At its center were deep blue Ceylon sapphires set in clusters of old-cut diamonds, chosen not just for their beauty, but for the statement they made about dynastic ambition and enduring ties. The journey of these sapphires did not end with the French Empire. Through Augusta's daughter Josephine, who married King Oscar I of Sweden in 1823, the parure found a new home in Scandinavia. As Queen Consort of Sweden and Norway, Josephine brought the sapphires into the Bernadotte dynasty, connecting the Swedish royal house directly to the Napoleonic era. For the Swedish monarchy, these jewels soon stood for more than inherited wealth. They became a quiet assertion of stability and continuity in a Europe frequently shaken by political upheaval. The parure's survival through generations was not left to chance. In 1930, Princess Victoria of Baden took a decisive step to protect the sapphires by placing them into a family foundation, ensuring they would never leave the royal line. This move was crucial, as monarchies across Europe faced revolutions, dissolutions, and war. The Leuchtenberg sapphires remained protected and intact. During World War II, the Swedish royal family hid the parure within palace vaults, demonstrating both its value as a cultural treasure and the family's commitment to safeguarding its legacy against the uncertainties of conflict. The artistry of the parure is most evident in the tiara, which features 11 large Ceylon sapphires set in diamond palmette motifs. Each sapphire, described by a contemporary observer as shining like drops of the midnight sky, stands out in an airy design that balances grandeur with restraint. The necklace's oval sapphires and the parure's other elements add to the effect, but it is this tiara that most clearly signals the enduring prestige of the dynasty. Queen Sylvia of Sweden has made the Leuchtenberg sapphire tiara her signature for major occasions, from Nobel Prize ceremonies to royal weddings. Her frequent choice of this historic piece underscores the enduring link between the Swedish monarchy and its Napoleonic heritage. Whether worn at state events or hidden away during times of danger, the parure has come to embody resilience and the careful preservation of royal tradition. As the story of the Leuchtenberg sapphires shows, some royal masterpieces survive thanks to deliberate acts of protection and adaptation. Yet not every jewel is so fortunate. The Faber Constellation Egg, the unfinished swan song of the Romanovs. The Faber Constellation Egg stands as one of the most poignant unfinished works of Imperial Russia, a relic shaped by revolution and the collapse of a dynasty. In early 1917, Tsar Nicholas II commissioned the egg as an Easter gift for his wife, Empress Alexandra Feodorovna. More than a display of luxury, this egg was meant to be a deeply personal symbol of hope. Its design centered on the Romanovs' youngest son, Alexei. Fabergé's workshop conceived an object that would combine artistry and meaning at a moment when the imperial family's future was growing uncertain. The intended design was intricate and layered with symbolism. The egg would feature a celestial globe of deep blue glass, engraved with diamond-studded constellations of Leo to mark Alexei's birth. This sky would rest on carved rock crystal clouds, supported by silver cherubs, all set atop a nephrite pedestal. The egg's inspiration came from an 18th century French bronze clock, a piece that celebrated love triumphing over time. For Alexandra, who was drawn to mysticism and astrology, the egg's celestial theme carried immense personal significance. For Nicholas, it was a desperate act of faith in dynastic continuity, commissioned as revolution pressed ever closer. The February Revolution of 1917 broke the spell of imperial tradition. As the Romanovs' world unraveled, the Fabergé workshop was forced to halt production. The silver cherubs and clockwork were never mounted, and the diamonds intended for the constellations were never set. Only two halves of the blue glass globe and the rock crystal cloud base were completed. The egg was never delivered to the Tsarina. Instead, its unfinished state became a silent witness to the final days of the family it was meant to celebrate. Decades later, the surviving pieces surfaced in the Fersman Mineralogical Museum in Moscow, where Fabergé's son, Agathon, had deposited them in 1925. The museum's collection includes the two halves of the blue globe and the carved cloud base, tangible fragments of a masterpiece cut short. These remnants provide a rare, direct link to the Romanovs' last chapter, allowing us to see the artistry and intent that history interrupted. Controversy followed the egg's rediscovery. Russian art collector Alexander Ivanov claimed to possess a fully finished version of the Constellation Egg, but experts widely dismiss his piece as a Fabergé. The consensus remains that the Fersman Museum's fragments are the genuine artifact, and no completed egg ever existed. This unresolved debate has only deepened the egg's allure, casting it as both a historical puzzle and a symbol of lost grandeur. The Constellation Egg is often called the last imperial egg, and its incomplete form is telling. The missing diamond constellations and absent silver cherubs mirror the sudden collapse of the Romanov dynasty. In its broken form, the Constellation Egg stands as a frozen prophecy of a dynasty halted in mid-flight. Even as the egg's fragments endure, they remind us that not all treasures could be preserved or completed. For the Romanovs, the final days demanded desperate choices, and some jewels, once symbols of hope, would become silent participants in the family's struggle to survive. From corseted bullet shields to a fractured celestial egg, these jewels reveal how beauty can mask desperation, hope, and ruin. Each piece, whether sewn into clothing in a final act of defiance or crafted as a promise for a dynasty's future, embodies the personal stakes behind historic events. Their value lies not just in craftsmanship or rarity, but in the way they carry the ambitions, fears, and losses of those who once wore them. If these hidden histories moved you, subscribe for more tales of history's silent witnesses. In every gem and setting, a story waits, one that reminds us how closely fate and fortune are entwined.